All right. Well, hello and welcome back, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. It is the Cup Chasers podcast. And we're going to start off with Manchester City having an easy stroll in the Saturday sunlight against Leicester. If you're a Leicester fan, hopefully not, smash the like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Get the notification bell on. I'm sure Man City will be in our conversation once again before you know it. What do you tell me, Lewis? I didn't think Leicester even put up a fight at all. I'm not even sure they tried.
Well, I think they tried when they knew City was going to stop scoring because everyone saw as soon as like when De Bruyne came off, City literally turned off. They're like, we're not trying to score anymore. Literally, you saw attacks where normally they would have like taken a shot on, but they pulled it back, and then they just passed it around. And the part that was a bit rough. So yes, to answer your first question, yes, Leicester did lay down, but City gave them chances. Now, I mean, if it was a good team, would City have given them the same chances? No, but
There was no jeopardy.
yeah. But the thing about it is for example, they scored a goal. It's always a stupid goal, and they got a couple of shots on where you're like, okay, Ederson had to make, I think, one or two saves, not like big saves, but he had to make one or two saves. And you could hear where the commentators were really pushing for Leicester to get one so they could make the game something because the narrative is that you obviously want it to be close and you don't want City to walk over people. And it was interesting. I saw someone made the assertion that it's bad for the league if City uh, continue the way they are because it gets boring to see a team win this frequently. And then someone replied and showed Liverpool and United and Arsenal just winning all the time. And it's like, oh. But see that, and so I say I I think it's good that those guys got playing time, but I think there was a mistake that was made is that they didn't keep attacking. I think it you really me personally, I would want to see what that group of guys would do if they kept going because City already knows what it's like to stop attacking or allowing a team in a la Real Madrid and to do that right before a pretty big game against Bayern to me because the starters wasn't they weren't on. I guess it's okay, but I still think that's a mentality thing because like I said to you guys in the chat, who are your subs? So say someone gets hurt or something like that. This guy who just played in the position of this key guy and this key guy showed he doesn't know what to do when you're just trying to possess the ball and kill the clock. So that matters. And so while I mean I'm not a gloom and doom guy, I took the sunshine from it, and yeah, they smacked him around, and it was what it was. But it's
I thought Cole Palmer was trying. I thought he was giving it a go, trying to be De Bruyne.
he was, but it was so weird because the thing that I I didn't understand was they put him there, but then they put Gomez next to him to play sort of that left central mid. He doesn't know what to do there. Like, literally, Laporte was coaching him the whole game, and I mean Laporte is not a left back, but Laporte was telling him what to do. And so if I'm him, I mean, I think they would have changed the formation or something. So at least because even though Gomez's forte is that he's better going forward than defending, he was completely lost in what to do. And so, you know, I think if Alvarez had come a little deeper, so he touched the ball because he didn't barely touch the ball after the quality and everyone's quality, but the top tier quality guys left the pitch. And I mean, to have Alvarez just run around and run around feels like a waste.
Would you say that because Calvin Phillips was so poor when he came on, you were all disjointed? Like he was Like, I know people are trying to cut him some slack. I have heard he's like a huge flop, and people are saying, no, he doesn't get to play enough. For me, when he has come on, he's been awful. He's just been really bad
I just don't
every
think he
time he's
fits
come
that
on.
system at all,
I don't think he
or
knows what
knows
to
it
do
at all.
because
Yeah.
the thing about I think it makes it worse. And Jake, you've dealt with this a little bit, and to a degree, Patrick and X, you've dealt with it. When you're starting to hold the midfielder is that good, and then you bring somebody else on, they look like garbage. I mean, they just look like garbage. So, I mean, the issue with Partey. You guys know Conte missing.
Conte's irreplaceable, yeah, in that Chelsea.
Irreplaceable. Yeah, it's three guys in the midfield by himself.
And then you put somebody else on who doesn't know what they're doing. And the thing that was rough is that when they took Rodri off, they moved Silva out. So then it was literally Phillips alone in the middle. Whereas when the formation started, it was Silva next to Rodri, and then it changed.
Yeah, it's
So
hurt puppy syndrome. Yeah, you just see
right,
it.
so he was alone, and
Yeah.
so I mean, I think yeah, and Stones was gone, so it was him by himself as the lone center half because holding midfielder because Akanji was back there, Diaz, Laporte,
Gomez came on.
and Gomez.
Was Gomez supposed to be inverting and helping him out?
He was, but he can play fullback and a wing back, but he doesn't know how to invert. And I mean that's and that you can attribute that to him not getting enough play time. But I would guess he practices. So I mean I would say that that's a kind of poor excuse. But I mean I don't know. I mean, I don't know because no. He wasn't inverting because Kyle Walker was on because Kyle Walker didn't come off. So Kyle Walker dropped all the way back to play right back, and Akanji and Diaz were in the middle. So Laporte was playing the left. So that meant that Gomez was playing like left center, or he was full on a left mid, and he did not know what to do.
Just
So
didn't know where to be.
Well,
and so,
Him and Palmer are young too. It's
well,
kind of a doesn't matter.
But Palmer's issue is also coupled with he plays in the same place as Mahrez, and Mahrez stayed on the field. And you're not going to move Mahrez for Palmer.
Yeah.
So
now you
Palmer's
have
not naturally a replacement for De Bruyne?
no, he's a wing.
Mhm.
And so, but they figured that because Guardiola, if you play on the field, you play everywhere.
Well,
And
Guardiola doesn't like true wingers either, so
right. And so
Bernardo
unfortunately,
Silva plays left back too, so
right. Well, right, and that's what I'm saying. If you look at the midfielders, with the exception of maybe a Gundogan, all the midfielders play everywhere. Like they play all over the field, so it doesn't matter where your position is. You need to know how to play everywhere.
fill space, right?
And so for him, I mean, the Mahrez is the exception, and I would say Grealish is the exception because he wants them to stay wide. But outside of those two guys, everyone else has to play either in the middle of the park and has to know how to interchange or invert. And I mean, so I don't really get it. And this is where that's why I was saying I would have dropped Alvarez in and put Palmer in front of him because Alvarez is a better creator than him. And if you've watched Palmer at all, you can see he's so hungry to play and so hungry to score that he takes some terrible shots. But he just wants to hit it because he's like, hey man, I'm never gonna get to play because look who's in front of me. And so let me try to get a shot. And it was something else, but I'm not gonna knock them because again, they were in a challenging position. And they came on when Leicester was like, hey, we're trying to impress these other teams that are going to buy us when we're relegated, because I know we're not into that, but I mean when we're relegated, we need to show these other teams that we can play. Like so, when Kelechi is trying to score, it's because he's like, hey Chelsea, I can be your striker, right? And so that's basically what they're going for. Because other than that, I mean, they're auditioning for other teams.
Hey Patrick, did you see the first Leicester and City game? Do you remember that one?
Yes.
Was this approach more pathetic than that one from Leicester?
It didn't seem like they were even trying.
I felt like it was both attempts, both City games versus Leicester were the most boring games on the fixture list.
Yeah.
It was walking pace.
I will say this though, the goal from Stones was quality.
I don't want to talk about the fact that Man City's randoms are popping up with wonder goals. It was Rodri last time with the Leo Messi. And now John Stone's just like, yep, thanks for that.
He just lollipops it into the back of the net. It's like, okay, all right, this is great. You know, for Arsenal, it's like, man, everybody's scoring at this point. But yeah, that Leicester just has no way, and I don't see how they avoid staying. I mean, I don't see how they avoid being relegated. They're just not good. They're bad.
Bad for the new coach.
Yeah, but I think he's only like a caretaker type. I think he only got like 10 games.
I mean, I was gonna say, what are you supposed to do with this terrible squad in 9 games, 10 games?
Yeah, exactly.
Good
you know, if you think about it, though, the Premier League in general has just raided Leicester. I know Chelsea's done a lot of it, but I mean, that whole team they're playing up.
All that's left.
Huh?
Vardy is all that's left.
Vardy and Madison.
He was just too old to pick up, or Vardy would have been out. Vardy should have left before his.
I don't think he would have left. I think Vardy was one of those guys that he's like, hey,
I'm happy here.
And think about it. I mean, he's literally and not on comparing levels, but sort of status. He's the Frank Lampard at their club. Like, so why would he go anywhere?
What did he tied broke the league record for consecutive goals?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So no. Man was on a he's a legend there. So I get it. Yeah.
So was Pep lulled to sleep, and that's why he made some weird subs?
Well, it was weird because like taking Haaland off at half was something that you at that point you're like, this dude really knows they won. Like it was over. He took him off at halftime.
Yeah.
And so the funny thing is because the running joke at that point was the greatest threat to Haaland breaking the Premier League scoring record is Pep Guardiola. Because he won't let him play more than 60 minutes unless he really has to. And fair enough, fair enough to him. I understand it. But
see that article where they take care of him 24/7?
As they should.
Yeah.
As they should. And so, I mean, it's good. I mean, you got to get the game out the way. I think an FA Cup game is next against, I think, Sheffield. Is that right?
Sheffield. Don't you play Bayern on Wednesday or Tuesday?
Well, I was talking about you're in England. I was talking about.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, because I'm just talking about in line with like playing for stuff for the league, and so because that game is there, obviously that pushes another game out of the way. And I mean, you do wonder what are they going to field, because that depends based on what you said. When they play Bayern, I mean, the lineup is chosen. Like I doubt he changes anything he had from the last game. I think Foden will be back, but he might not even make the trip. But he'll for sure probably play in the FA Cup match. But so it'll probably be the same lineup. Probably be genuinely the same idea. I think Tuchel is going to go after it, and I expect that. I mean, he's a good manager, so why not?
At you guys, yeah.
And I would guess that City would go right back at him. I mean, at this point, you have to kind of take that mentality, and the fact that Leicester attempted to scare a little bit. I'm saying it in words, right? In words, not in reality. We all saw the game. But it was enough. I think it was enough for them to say, hey, look, they scored one, because they shouldn't have scored it all. If we're being honest, they shouldn't have scored it all, and it should have been 6-0. I mean, if we're being completely honest, but that's not what happened. And so if you're a manager, you have enough to say, look, they almost got you. And then, then you can kind of push them, because it is the question of like, how do you push a team that is really walking and strolling? And I mean, this is probably the best time to come and sucker punch somebody like this.
I was about to say, we've seen this happen in this tournament, in the Champions League, in the history of the Champions League. When it's going to happen, it happens there. It happens in the late stages where you have a 3-0 aggregate and you come in, and then we look at the aggregate, come Monday, Tuesday morning, or, Thursday, Friday, it was a 5-3 on aggregate, or, 3-3 with pins. And
Right.
I do think it's going to be open. I think he's going to, because if City sit back, there's a lot of world-class talent on that Bayern
City
team,
don't
which
know
is not
how
gonna do.
They don't know how to
Right.
sit back.
Right.
That's
It's going to
something
be
that City
open.
knows how to do.
No, it's going to be open, and Tuchel has to throw the kitchen sink at you guys. Has
But that's
to.
the best way. That's the best way to play the best teams. Pep knows that. Pep is not gonna let what happened Saturday happen on Tuesday.
Yeah.
No chance. There's way more likely that City will win 4-0 than they'll come out half asleep, thinking, "Oh, we're already ahead. We're already killing it."
Right.
The best way to play a team like Bayern, who we know are as dangerous as they can be, is to put it on them in their face the whole time.
And an interesting thing is to combat my own point of what they did. If you think about it, it's like, well, what if those substitutes came on and smashed it? Then their heads would have been out here.
The whole team's flying high. Yeah.
And that
Now you
might
got
have been worse.
everybody bought in.
It might have been worse. So I think, I guess we'll figure it out there. We'll figure it out come Wednesday. What it was. And if City is moving on or not. I think it's interesting. I didn't know this. I mean, I guess I should have known it. But the way the league sort of story is set up, you don't really hear a ton of it, but I saw it somewhere else after I thought it. I didn't know, I knew City was going for their third consecutive league title. But I've made the jokes about the treble, but I didn't realize they really are on the treble as well. And that would be, it'd be a hell of a season to win 3 in a row and with the treble. Because I did look after they said, hey, the City makes the league boring. And I saw the only times there was a team that won 3 in a row. Do you all know who won the league the next year after the team won 3 in a row?
Is it their main rivals?
Nope, it was Arsenal. Every single time.
Wow.
Every single time a team won 3 in a row. Go look it up. I didn't know. Every time a team won 3 in a row, Arsenal won the league. Go look.
I thought United won 3 in a row.
And then Arsenal won it the next year. I'm telling you, I saw it. I was like,
since 04. I thought Ferguson won 3 in a row after the Invincibles.
I looked and I was shocked.
I believe you. I believe you.
I was like, why is Arsenal? I was confusing because I thought I was looking at the same thing, but it was Arsenal every time a team won. Because when Liverpool won 3 in a row, Arsenal won the league after they won 3 in a row.
Was that the 89 season where we had to go to Liverpool?
Yeah,
and we needed a 2-goal victory at Liverpool in 89.
So you were kind of in my head when I saw that because obviously as a modern day, you get lost in the sauce today. You're like, this is our best chance to win, and I agree to a degree. But then when I saw that, I'm like, it really isn't, because it's kind of setting up if it happens. So, and I don't think it'll be like where people say it's the greatest bottle ever because we've seen other bottles. Tottenham exists. So as long as Tottenham exists, no one will ever bottle greater than them. But first of all, Arsenal's super young. Second of all, they're going to have a good window because they know exactly what they need. And why wouldn't it be set up? Because I can't think of many teams who won 4 in a row. Winning 4 in a row is insane.
Has that ever happened?
I didn't see it. But then you have to think about this, and I'm being very honest. If City happened to win the Champions League this year, I can't, and I'm being honest, I can't see them winning the league next year, only because it's already basically confirmed. Gundogan is gone. Silva might be gone. There's like 3 or 4 guys that are veteran guys that are anchors that are going to be out of the team next year. So it's going to be new guys, and that makes it harder. Chelsea will be better next year. I'm saying it because I believe it.
We can't get worse than this. Or else
United and Casemiro, the greatest center.
No, Liverpool aren't getting better because Liverpool aren't bringing anybody in. Like, Liverpool are decaying and they're not doing anything about it.
Newcastle will be better next year.
Newcastle's going to be a monster.
Good next year. And so I think Arsenal has probably about a 3 or 4 year window where I think, because your guys will just be hitting their primes then. They'll be 26, 27.
Oh, we ain't going anywhere, that's for sure.
So after seeing that, I was like, every time I saw a three-peat or a 3 in a row, and then I saw Arsenal, I was like, oh, that's okay. So yeah, and so that determines obviously what they do in the FA Cup, because obviously if they beat Bayern, you won't see a single starter play in FA Cup. Not one.
It'll be like you said last time. It'll be us four, and then whoever they want to put with the rest of the city reserves.
And the big reason for that, I mean, even though I think they'll do it anyways, but the big reason for that will be Arsenal's the next game. So why would you play anybody
Right.
that
It's a championship
at all
game.
if Arsenal's
Right.
next? The only way they don't do it is, and you know I don't root for losses except when you play me. If Arsenal drop points again, then that does change the.
Don't even put that in the universe. It's Southampton.
Hey
They
man,
play Southampton on Friday.
Hey, we lost to them.
That was a League Cup. Get out of here.
Twice.
Jesus.
Twice.
Don't like you.
I didn't put that out there.
Hey, any side question away from the going back to the Champions League? Is there Munich's a hard spot to go into? Do you see any? It's a big hill. 3-0 is a big hill. Like 2-0 is a hill. 3-0 is a big hill. Barring an early goal to really open up the kind of hopefulness of this, which City don't let in early goals. They usually let in late goals, like stupid late mistake after they have control of the game, and they know they do. It's kind of been the tell of the season. You say they always get one, but it's always in the 80th and the 70th when you're already up 4-1, and you feel bad, and you got to give them something to not cry about.
Feel bad.
Damn them.
Yeah, right. This is a big hill to climb, even in Munich. And like I said, unless it's a 1-2 early goal, I don't see a reality where Bayern gets back in this. I just don't. I don't. And that's sad to say, because the second leg, it's going to be great. I love seeing Bayern play City, but y'all commanded at the Etihad. You converted your chances. You took them well. And that was the difference between the games. It's, one was in control, one was wanted to be in control and didn't capitalize on chances.
Real Madrid that tie didn't disappear. That's still there. They are never ever forgetting that.
Oh, well, neither were we. Trust me. Like it scars me in my sleep.
Bayern saw it, and Bayern's like, if they could do it,
right?
And that's enough. I mean, they're champions, man. I mean, even if they're struggling a bit in their own league, which is actually quite surprising to see. But struggling, but they're top of the table. You know what I mean, though.
Sure.
But
they're not 90 points deep by April. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's enough. It's enough, and I think that matters. Speaking of points, I saw something where it said every team that has scored 70 or more points in the Premier League by game, whatever number we're on, I think it's at 30?
31.
31, has won the league. The only 3 times that they didn't win the league was when City beat one of the teams. And all 3 times another team got 70 points at this time, City beat that team. That's the only other teams, which is such a weird statistic.
Stop saying things like that.
Is that the one where is that the one where Queen's Park just gave it to you on the last day? Because that
was a goal difference. That was on goal difference. Stop saying stuff like this.
I'm just telling. I'm not looking for this information. It's just coming. Because
honestly, I think to say it though, Jake, I honestly think this is one of those wake up call moments where it can make or break you, it can cook you, or it can, really polish the diamond. Because, you've been flying high for so long, you stumbled once and you're like, okay, no, we're back at it. You stumbled again. It's one of those, Clemson's best season was when we lost a game early. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those mentality things where now they really are on your heels, and it's putting the, fire to the brimstone, or, rubber to the road, whatever you turn a phrase you want to use. I don't know, man. I want to say hindsight's 2020, but I want to look back at this and say it benefited you guys, especially against West Ham. Like, that stings a little more because of who it is, not just where they are, but who it is. So I think it, like I said, I don't want to get off topic, off City, but I don't stress. Don't be like, don't put that out there. I think it wakes you up. more than it.
I think both teams still have a lot to play for. Like it's far, like a lot of people are. I mean, we've kind of played around to it too. That this is it. And I hear you, but I don't hear you for the following reason, right? So, like
City
for example, they moved the game. So City plays Brighton. No, they didn't. Sorry, but I mean, City still have Brighton. They still have Fulham. I mean, obviously they have West Ham, who wanted to be awake against you guys. I don't count Leeds or Everton. I'm being honest. I'm just going to be disrespectful about that altogether.
Sure.
Brentford matters on the last day. Tony's betting on himself. And you got Chelsea before that. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, you both have us.
You have no idea what Chelsea's going to show up, and so I think it matters because even though that there's three results that can come from the City Arsenal game, right? You can have a City win, you can have a draw, and you can have an Arsenal win. Those are the three results. And being honest, I'm being honest because of just the way
draw would make things so spicy.
All three results are not a death stroke to either team. All three. Now for Arsenal, obviously winning the game means a ton more, but they still clearly other teams have woken up, and you can see there's some shaking in there. There's some nerviness. So
I'm still praying. I'm praying. I have faith that City might drop again at least once.
Brighton could time
outside of the Arsenal game.
We could time.
Yeah. I mean, there's
we're not scoring a goal, but we might time.
Yeah, the league is crazy, and there's plenty of things to fight for. Plenty of teams in there: Fulham, Brighton, Brentford that are fighting for European spots. Chelsea, at least X still believes have a spot at it. But if you still believe,
West Ham is trying not to get relegated.
If you're looking forward to this championship match coming up next Wednesday, go ahead and hit that like button. Let's get all the likes for Arsenal beating City on April 26th. Smash the subscribe button and go ahead and get that notification bell on.